Oklahoma keeping their playoff hopes alive with a 17-6 victory over number 22 Missouri. Let's go over the highest graded players, starting off with the Oklahoma Sooners. Their highest graded player was linebacker Owen Heineke, 76.3. Eli Bowen, the cornerback, 75.6. Safety Michael Boganowski, 74.1. Kendall Daniels, another safety here, 73.5. Cortland Guillory, the corner, 72.2. And John Mateer with a 55.7 grade in the victory. Let's go over to Missouri with their highest graded players in the loss. Linebacker Nicholas Rodriguez, 80.4. Another linebacker here, Josiah Trotter, 78.9. Keegan Trost, the offensive tackle, 72.5. Dre Norwood, the corner, 72.1. Stephen Hall, another corner, 69.2. And Bo Pribula making his return, but only a 58.6 grade for him in the loss. Dalton, what told the story in this game?
To me, look, you only get so many chances against what is an elite Oklahoma defense. You only get so many chances to put points on the board. And when Missouri had their chances, they just didn't capitalize fully, right? 0 for 3 when it comes to scoring touchdowns in the red zone, settling for 2 field goals and 1 missed field goal. And you felt like if Missouri was going to win this game, and this was going to be a low-scoring game. You got 2 really good defenses. You got 2 teams that, in general, want to run the football. Obviously, Oklahoma made enough plays in the passing game to come out with 17 points. Certainly, the 87-yarder from Isaiah Satania was the biggest play. But 0 for 3 in the red zone for Missouri. Also, another drive in the fourth quarter stopped at the Oklahoma 21. So I think when you just look at when they got into Oklahoma territory, they just couldn't finish it off. When they had the ball inside the Oklahoma 40, they had a 51.4 offensive grade as a team with just 2.9 yards per play and a negative .647 EPA per play. Oklahoma just puts up the brick wall in their own red zone. It is so hard to score touchdowns on them. The pass rush is great. The run defense after the first drive, which you're going to talk about, was outstanding. The coverage was great. A couple of interceptions late in the game. I just think you look at Missouri, and they had a few chances. They had chances to go ahead in this game. They had chances to stay in this game, but they didn't take advantage of that. I thought really to the end of the first half when they got the ball down to the Oklahoma 3-yard line and they couldn't punch it in. They settled for a field goal there. That was really a missed opportunity, and then from there Oklahoma just shut it down in the second half.
Yeah, my stat is Missouri had 48 rushing yards after the first drive of this game, because on the first drive of the game, Missouri drove right down the field, got a field goal. We're like, all right, maybe Missouri's got a shot to win this game. First drive of the game, Missouri had 42 rushing yards, 5.3 yards per carry, and a field goal. Missouri, on the other 12 drives in this game, 48 rushing yards, 2.1 yards per carry, and also only 1 field goal. So a field goal on the first drive of the game and only 1 field goal on the other 12 drives of the game for the Tigers. On the other 12 drives, 0.3 yards before contact per carry, 1.8 yards after contact per carry, 1 explosive run, and 4 tackles for loss for Oklahoma's defense as well. They knew that even though Bo Pribula was back from his injury, but they knew Missouri wanted to win this game with a guy who's going to be a Doak Walker Award finalist and Ahmad Hardy, one of the best running backs in college football this year, who just ran for 300 yards last week against Mississippi State. Ahmad Hardy would have to carry this team to victory in this one, and they knew that, and they put 7 or more defenders in the box on 21 of Missouri's 31 carries in this game. So great job by Oklahoma's defense, not only of stepping up and stopping the run, but a great job by Brent Venables of knowing exactly what kind of game Missouri wanted to make this and shutting that down and making Bo Pribula beat their really talented secondary, and Missouri just could not do that.
And you could just feel Oklahoma's defense after that first drive. Every successive drive from there, everything just kept creeping up and not just in the boxes, in coverage too. It was, you know what? We can tell you don't want to throw it vertically.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please throw it over our heads. And honestly, for the most part, Missouri's receivers couldn't get open, right? There was a couple flashes in the fourth quarter when the game was already 17-6. But I think what you saw there is Oklahoma just said, you know what? We don't have to respect your pass passing game. We just don't have to. And that's really been the biggest issue for Missouri all year, the quarterback play in the drop-back game. When the play action's going and the run game's going great, they're running for 250, 300 yards, then everything's working in sync. But when it comes to just a drop-back play action game, especially when they're behind in games, this doesn't work. We saw it with the 2 interceptions against Alabama. We've seen it in other games. Now you see it again here with Oklahoma. If you're going to beat Oklahoma, your quarterback better be on his A-plus game, because you have to be able to threaten them down the field and then work your way into the run game.
Yeah, if Missouri has 90 rushing yards in a game, Missouri's not winning that ball game. I'll tell you that right now. That's not the way they want to win ball games. Who do you want to shout out ultimately in this win for Oklahoma?
I'll go with their highest graded player there, who played at least 25 snaps, a linebacker. I mentioned that linebackers were going to be important in this game for Oklahoma. Owen Heineke was outstanding, a 78.4 run defense grade, 8 total tackles and 2 stops. Also only allowed 2 catches for 8 yards in coverage, and that was a lot of time where Missouri was trying to get underneath and get lateral with the play action. Kip Lewis was solid also with a 68 run defense grade. And look, I mean, they each missed 2 tackles, but when you're talking about tackling Ahmad Hardy, that's actually not bad at all. So the linebackers needed to be great. Heineke and Kip Lewis in this game, they were outstanding in this game, especially after that first drive, like you mentioned.
I'll shout out his coach, man, Brent Venables. Just what a job he's done this year at Oklahoma. They're now 1 win away from Oklahoma's first college football playoff appearance since Jalen Hurts led them to the playoff in 2019 when they lost to LSU, and of course Joe Burrow, who will go on and win the national title that year. And even with all the offensive issues that Oklahoma has and still has right now, only 17 points in this game against Missouri. Even with that, this is a defensive football team. This is a Brent Venables football team right now. Only Ole Miss and Tennessee scored 24 or more points against Oklahoma this year. They have 5 games out of their 11 this year where they've allowed fewer than 10 points in those games. 7 of those 11 games where they've allowed fewer than 20 points, including this one as well. This is just a complete opposite, really, of the Lincoln Riley teams that we had at Oklahoma when he was coaching the Sooners. This is a defensive football team, and honestly, you get into the playoff and you get probably a home game in that playoff game. I don't care how good another opposing offense is, man. This Oklahoma defense is one of the elite units in college football right now. They will drag you into the mud, and if John Mateer in that offense only has to score 17 to 20 points to win a ball game, they probably will be able to do that, man. So they have to finish it off next week against LSU. So it's still a dangerous game. They got to win next week too, but great job at Brent Venables and this team overall this year. And Dalton, there's so many points this year where we looked at each other and said, all right, Oklahoma's done. There's no way they make the playoff now. And they just keep rattling off these wins. They beat Alabama. They beat Missouri this week. Now all they got to do is beat LSU next week, and Oklahoma is going to the playoff for the first time in 6 years.
No, absolutely. I think especially like you mentioned, having to go into Oklahoma for a potential playoff game against this defense, your offense has to be on their A-plus game even to get 24 points off this team, right? You look at some of the other games where they've given up points. Okay, Texas got 23, but that was a slow burn, and 7 of that was on a punt return, right? Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss was outstanding. They put up 34. Okay, Tennessee, 27. Alabama only put up 21, and they got the turnovers. I mean, to me, I kind of watched them the last few weeks, and I keep going, you know what? This right now is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. This is the college Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So the pass rush is great. They force turnovers. They give you different looks, and they just drag you into their style of ball. And I would expect this game next week against LSU to be the same way, right? Because LSU's a very defensive team, and they only got a 13-10 win over Western Kentucky yesterday. I would expect a similar type score. We'll talk about it later in the week. That's one of the games we're going to preview. But no, you're right. Credit to Brent Venables and what he's done this year. They've only given up 30 points once this year.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And that was in one of their 2 losses to Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's incredible what Oklahoma is doing right now in the SEC in their second year in the SEC as well. Just a great job at Brent Venables. And again, one more win, and the Sooners are going to the playoff for the first time in 6 years. All right.